Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm doing an A-lister series again today, another installment of the A-lister series. And this one I've decided to talk about the proverbial niche or niche, which I believe it's pronounced niche, but you do what you want to do with it. The more important thing is, do we do it or do we not do it? I think it's a very important question to ask ourselves as resellers, because we do tend to kind of get out of our lane very, very often. We see other people selling certain things. We may have hated jewelry a couple of years ago. Now we want to sell jewelry. Or we see someone else selling the electronics, so we think we can sell the electronics. I had started a video when I was testing my internet last week or so, and I was showing you some of the things that I've hoarded that that accumulate, that get hoarded, and I don't mean them too often. Also, things that I've bought that were not intended to be hoarded, but were intended to be used, and then I realized that they were really not what I wanted them to be. And one, I was showing you this desk, and again, I was just testing the internet that day, but then people were asking for me to do the video, or what happened to the video because I took it off. Well, it was this tiny little desk here, guys. It is from Levenger, which is a very popular mail order place. And I saw it at the Goodwill. It's excellent condition. It is wood. And I thought that my grandchild could probably use it when he comes over, maybe stick his legs under there, but I'm not sure how comfortable that would be. So we really have not used it. I just kind of used it to hold my office supplies a bit. I do have it ready with some color books and all of that in case, it ever gets to that. But it's basically about, I don't know, maybe, I think the little feet are about 5 inches. So it's really, really low to the ground. I don't know how utilitarian it could possibly be. So that's one buy that I made there. Another was this beautiful lambskin that I vowed I was going to sell. I looked at it. I looked up the comps. They were very expensive. They were about $80 and never listed it. I kind of liked it on my sofa, so it's been there probably 2 years. But again, just broadening out my scope, right? Just keep getting it. I kept getting it broader and broader and broader. And again, I just don't always follow suit. So I want to know, what do you do with your stores, your eBay stores? Have you found a niche? Do you like doing that? Do you find yourself gravitating toward everything? Art was another one that I was going to. I love this piece. I was going to sell it. It isn't oil. Really pretty signature on it and everything. But it went perfect in this room, so I did not sell it. It's still there. And I wanted to just show you my little pieces here. I guess this is like a little fold down desk. I don't know what it's called. I have to be very careful with it because it's stuffed. Okay, it's stuffed with stuff that I said I was going to sell that I haven't sold. I was going to put this on the MSP auction when I was on there once. It's a beautiful flow blue piece with some kind of a gentleman on there, and he's even got all his information there. His name is John Bull. It's a John Bull teapot. I've had that for 2 years, never listed it. Didn't have time to put it up on MSP that night that I was on, so that's still sitting there. Lots of Hallmark Christmas ornaments are there. Of course, my proverbial mugs. I love those, and I will list those someday. But I have a whole collection of mugs in the garage already in another place. I love this little pup. Don't know why I got him, but I did. This is my husband's hoarding right here. The Selena cups that are sold here in Texas at some convenience store like a 7-Eleven. They were selling really high when they first came out, right? They were going for, I think, $80 to $100 with the first issue. I don't believe they're going for that high anymore, but my husband keeps buying them, and I have like 6 of them now. So they've come out with like 3 or 4 issues, right? Then I have a really pretty christening cup. This thing is just full. So I keep saying to myself, I'm not going to do clothes anymore. I am phasing out the clothes. And again, just look. These are rubber stamps. This is a gorgeous watch Boss, Hugo Boss watch. These are actually empty perfume bottles that also sell. And I've sold some. I've even sold them on Posh before they allowed it. Now they're telling me they allow it, so I want to do that. These are colognes by Polo, Ralph Lauren Polo, but they are all different kinds of polos, and they were selling really well for me on eBay. All of a sudden they stopped where they don't want you to put samples in. These are sample bottles. This is a Chanel box with some sunglasses in there that are mine. And so I'm stuck with those. I guess I could put them on Mercari or somewhere else, but I haven't done it. I have a collection of rubber stamps back there because I used to do a lot of artwork. Here is more with rubber stamps. Here's a Pocahontas. I love Pocahontas. I bought her because she reminds me of my middle daughter. Looks like her. So that's kind of the question that I keep pondering, and I'm asking myself every day, you know, where am I going with this? Because I just can't keep going on like this with, you know, and then I have that box full of stuff I got from that honey hole. Haven't listed. I had actually put this in front of my husband so he could do it, and he hasn't done it. I have some Fisher-Price toys that I was going to give to my granddaughter. It's impossible to ship this without paying what I would have paid full price for it, right? And I got it for like $9, I think, at the Goodwill. So I'll probably put that up on Craigslist or something. But again, I'm just inundated with all of this. This is stuff that I moved out of my room over here. There's some jewelry jars in that box. Here's another case, another desk full of stuff. I have another thing that was hot a few years ago. The pet, whatever they are, all kinds in there. Haven't even opened it to see if there's even, because I did sell some for like $30. Some of them did go high, and then some were 10 and so forth. But I have not looked to even see if there's still a popular one in there. I think the cats were the ones that were popular, or if they've totally lost favor, but they're there. So that's the problem as well, is that by the time you get around to listing them, they're no longer hot. Really cute Christmas ornaments there. Some spoons. Oh my gosh, everything is in here, guys. Stuff. Not to mention, okay, look at my Amazon closet. I don't do Amazon FBA. I do Amazon MFA. So look, this is my Amazon closet. And occasionally I do come in here and grab a game. They do sell some Harry Potter. I have a lot of sealed games, stuffed animals, all kinds of stuff up in there. That's Amazon. And again, the niche, guys, I have to not only decide, I guess I have to decide whether I'm going to do one, because everything is in here. Everything. I had a junk drawer thing I was going to do for the broken electronics. Just all kinds of stuff in here. Ribbons, crafting. I see things, they're a quarter, right? I feel like I need them. More Harry Potter puzzles and stuff. Those are sealed. But they've been listed for a while, and they have not sold. Let me go back in my room here. Sorry if I made you dizzy, guys. I'm going to try to turn this camera around if I can. I'm not sure how. Okay, here it is. All right, there you are. So let me sit you down there for a second. There we go. So that is where I'm at. That is the problem. I'm going to turn on some lights. That is the problem here that I definitely want to conquer this vacation that I'm home. I would like to conquer this problem because, let me put you down just a tad there, because it is definitely a problem now, guys. I've lost my focus as to what I want to do. I showed you the jewelry. I love doing the jewelry. The jewelry is easy to manage somewhat, even though it is getting out of hand as well. But the storage is a lot easier. It seems like when you do niche, guys, you get focused on what you're doing. That can be with the platform that you want to do it on, or just the items. I feel like you really do get honed in. It kind of reminds me of like when you go Christmas shopping or even grocery shopping. If you don't have a list, you go everywhere and you forget to look for the milk that you came in there for. That's exactly what happens to me in a thrift store if I don't tell myself my niche is now only handbags and only jewelry. So I really become more focused when I walk in the thrift store. I know I'm just going to the counters. I'm even trying to hone in there and say, let's just do jewelry in the counter. Let's not do a jewelry jar this time. Let's go and see what's in the counter. Let's just grab that. Let's go look at the handbags that they keep behind the counter that are usually the better handbags, and try to hone it that way, because otherwise this is what you're looking at. And this is just three rooms that you looked at. The foyer there, the entryway, my piano room, which is where I usually do my haul videos, and then my bedroom, and you saw some of my bedroom. But you have not seen my garage. Then I have another armoire full of books, of coffee mugs, cookie jars, even some jewelry. I actually found some jewelry that I had bought a few years ago, and it was before I started really getting into selling jewelry. I found some jewelry in the garage in a couple of jewelry boxes, brought it back in. I actually sold some pieces out of there. So that's how much I'm ignoring these pieces that really do hold value. And that's what I'm going to try. That's what I'm vowing to do now, is to really niche myself to the point, not where I'm going to give up Amazon. I'm still going to have that little closet with those sealed games that are money in the bank. When you see them at a thrift store, pick them up, scan them with your Amazon seller or any other kind of scanning product that you may have, because there is money in that. But I really am not going to go for the teapots and all that stuff that I know is super expensive to ship, because you have to secure it. And the more styrofoam, the more stuffing you put in that box, you are, $5 extra just so it can get there secure. And it's very, very expensive now to do that. And then I have found that sourcing the jewelry is getting expensive as well. I used to do a lot of sourcing on Poshmark for clothing and for jewelry, but now that they're doing the taxes, people have asked me that question a few times. I'm not sure how that's affecting my sales, but I know that it has stopped me from buying a few things. So I would have to conclude that it's probably going to hurt my sales as well when people see that extra $3, extra $4 for something on Poshmark that's, a tiny little 10-ounce item, and they wind up paying another $6, $7 tagged onto what your price is. I think it's going to hurt us. So back to that about hoarding or niching. Yes, I think it's going to be a real problem to break, but it's going to be one I'm going to do. I was thinking about excuse me a minute, I think I had a note here so I don't forget. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I was thinking about my aunt. She passed away. Actually, she did not pass away. God help me. She did not pass away. She moved out of her home. They moved her out of her home. She's elderly now, and she's getting forgetful, and so it was best that she moved into a nursing home. Beautiful nursing home, resort-like, wonderful. But my cousin, who is her only daughter, and we used to go thrifting, not thrifting, but antiquing a lot. She lives in San Antonio. And I used to admire how my cousin could go into an antique shop in a big mall, and she would hone in on what she liked. She liked home decor. That's her thing. So that was all she would look at. And she'd be like, oh, y'all ready? We're going to have lunch in a few minutes or whatever. And her mother and I would be looking at every single nook and cranny in those antique stores. We could be there all day long because we could not hone in on what we liked and what we wanted to collect and what we wanted to resell. Her mom was not a reseller, but she was definitely a collector. Well, when they moved out to her resort nursing home, she had to call a professional in. She said, I couldn't get in. I could not get into her closet. She had so many clothes, so many shoes, so many dolls, everything that she loved to collect. And she was not even a reseller. She just loved buying interesting old things. And so they literally had to call a professional in to move her out, to move the hoard out. I think she managed to salvage her bed. She bought her a new dining table, because it was kind of like a little apartment that she moved into that nursing home. It's kind of like little apartments. So she bought everything kind of new for her, kind of like really renovated, and it looked beautiful, looked like a little French cottage or something, how my cousin did it for her. And as I said, she was very much a home decor enthusiast. So she told me I could not. She goes, I told her, you should have called me. I could have, maybe made some money off whatever it was you weren't gonna use. She goes, I really, I didn't even want to think about it, Thelma. I just wanted everything out of there. I could not even move. She had like 5 dressers. She had dishes and dishes and dishes. Hadn't had a family in 30 years in there. So this is where I don't want to go. This is where I want to stop it now and realize that I do need to find a niche. I really, really do. As much as I think and I know that other things are going to make me money, I know that if I see a unique cup, I'm going to probably pick it up. But I'm definitely going to steer away from the clothing unless it's a designer item that really is a Prada or something really high end. Otherwise, I just don't have the time to list it all. I really don't. And I don't know if you guys are in the same boat. I know a lot of you are full-time resellers. You may have the time, you may have the inventory, rather you may have the real estate to put it in, but I do not. And I do not have the money to rent a storage unit. I don't, and it's just not feasible for me. To me, it would be very counterproductive to have something in a storage unit, even if it was, because there's several around me, even if it was 10 minutes away, I would still have to go in there and look for it and find it, and to make $20, it's just not, and I don't know what storage units run for, but I imagine they run over $100 a month, in my opinion. I don't know. But I just can't see myself doing that. And I've run into people at some of the honey holes that I've gone to where they've told me they have 3 storage units and they can't even get into them. They can't even get into them because they have to snake in there to even find that tiny little, thing they're looking for. So that's where I'm going now. I really do want to hone into just jewelry, handbags, an occasional mug. I even want to stay away from there. But again, it's something that I have to tell myself, I have to train myself when I walk in that store, almost with a list, almost like a grocery list of stuff that I'm going to look for. I'm going to look at jewelry, I'm going to look at the handbags, only the better handbags. I steered away from regular leather handbags like, I can't think of them right, like Tijanello or anything like that, because those are not always completely leather. And I'm really going towards anything Coach and above. I don't want to go anything below, unless it's a vintage bag, a lucite bag or something like that, of course. But other than that, I'm really steering clear of that because I really, really do want to hone in on a niche. And I also feel like when you have a niche, I think you excel at it. Most of the specialty stores that I can think about in eBay, they excel at the one thing they're selling. They're either selling electronics, they're selling jewelry, clothing. The clothing sellers, that's all they sell, that's all they source, and they find their bargains to make sure that ROI is nice, because otherwise, again, you wind up everywhere. And as far as competition, I really think that helps you hone down your competition as well. When you're everywhere, you have to compete with this one who probably gets better deals than you do, or you have to compete with that one who's only selling Prada and Gucci and so forth. Or, everyone is just selling kids' clothes. They're still niching. The kids' clothes market is an excellent market as well. But, you kind of have to always think about that. Yes, the more the merrier, the more there is, the more competition, and the better for the buyer, because the buyer's getting a good price there. But as far as you and the selling, it can get a little iffy. That's what I think is a plus about niching. I really do think that's important. I think a lot of people are seeing that now. And that's what I'm going to consider, mostly because I am a part-time reseller. This is not my full-time job. It is, in a way, in time consumption, it really is. I shouldn't even call myself that because I spend tons of time doing this. Even my mother says, I think you spend more time reselling than you do teaching. I really see you, very, very much enthused about the reselling, and I do. But as far as real estate and all of that, and time, the time that I have to list, there is, just like I said, these things have been here 2 years and they haven't been listed. They've just come and they've stayed, and I don't have a storage unit, and I don't want to get a storage unit. It would be totally, it just would not be prudent for me in any way, shape, or form. So that's where I'm at with that. Guys, that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This is a channel where I talk a lot about reselling. I do enjoy rings for jewelry. I talk about jewelry, and we all learn from each other with jewelry. I'm really excited about it. I think the channel is really going in a wonderful direction now. I also am starting a new summer series. I haven't started the title, but I have 2 guests lined up, and I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to bring it to you. I'll probably bring it during the daytime hours, during the week, and I'm hoping to do about 2 shows a week because I want to accommodate everyone's time frame that I've asked to be on my show. And in that manner, I really want to accommodate them. I'm home for the summer, so I can do any time, but I'm super excited about that summer series. It's going to be a very different type of series, but I think we can all learn from my guests, as I have always learned from them. And like I said, I think if you just expand your knowledge in different ways, whether that means giving something up or honing and getting something else into your niche, I really think we all benefit in the long run in that manner. And let me just say hello and goodbye to a couple of people that stopped in. I really appreciate it. And then I will see you at the showcase for Makeup Zombie. She's doing a showcase at 4 o'clock. Guys, I know a lot of you have followed me from here over there, and I'm hoping you enjoy it. Be sure and read the description box, though. It's very intricate and very important that you understand it before you get a miscommunication. We don't want to be miscommunicated in any way. It's important that you read all of those description boxes, and I'm so happy you're here. Nice to see you, Barb, over at Picky Chick, and I will talk to you guys very soon.